obviously a significant week with a lot of stuff happening since last Friday, and just wanted to check in and see how the team has handled this eventful week, shall we say, in your mind.
I think anytime you get change like that, and there's always a minute that you have to digest all of that, but we got to move forward. I think for the most part we've done a pretty good job of moving forward. Wins often help with that, and so that's where we got to be a little bit better. It was nice to get a win in Buffalo against a team that was hungry, needed to win, wanted to win. You got to follow it up. You just got to keep putting things together.
Part of the change was taking a defenseman out in Trouba, who we know you guys relied on quite a bit, and now Keandre being out for at least a few games. It sounds like just if you can speak to how this is maybe going to test your depth defensively.
I think everybody goes through it through the course of a year where they have to, count on the depth of the organization. We feel like we have good pieces in place to come up, but now it's their turn to step up. But I think it happens with everybody. We don't like to see injury happen, but it does, and when that does happen, it's opportunity, and players need to make the most of that opportunity.
Do you expect Mackey to play tomorrow? Right, it looks like you only have 6 healthy.
Yeah,
right
so that's the expectation. Yes.
What do you expect from that?
He was good. I mean, the times that we had him up here, and he's a big, strong, reliable defenseman. He can play heavy and physical. He moves the puck, and he did a pretty good job for us last year, and we needed him.
He came up last year, and I think the only game was he had the fight.
Really good. It was Ottawa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Does that, I guess, give you any added confidence, kind of throwing him in the
we have confidence. So he'll play. He's going to play some good minutes, and we're counting on him to have a good game.
I know he's still in the green jersey, and I know he's still on NYR, but do you feel like Vakinen is close?
I think anytime a player is out on the ice, they're taking steps in the right direction. You can sometimes tell by jersey colors what's going on, but I think he's taken steps in the right direction.
Brett Berard has been up now for, I don't know, week, 2 weeks. Just what have kind of been your impressions of him as he's kind of gotten adjusted to that NHL level of play?
I think he's done a really good job of making an impact in the game. His speed and his tenacity. I think he helps make a line very effective. I thought that line was excellent the other night with regard to their game and just getting the puck into the right zone, keeping it there. The way they forechecked, the way that they competed on pucks, it was a really effective line. And so more of that, just chatting with him today, I think the simplicity in his game is just trying to keep things simple. Don't overdo things. Just play to your strength, your speed, your grit. He's got skill when he needs it. But I find that they can be difficult to play against.
You might have touched on this a little bit, but he's a guy who can score. He's led the team in goals last year in Hartford, but you guys have confidence putting him in a fourth line role, a little more checking. Like, what about him, even with his size, makes you someone that?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if it's a checking.
Yeah.
They'll play. They'll start in different zones, and I just think they've been effective.
Yeah.
More than labeling them a certain type of line, they've been an effective line with that. He's also moved up the lineup, and he's played with some different people even inside of the past couple games. Like, he's jumped up and he's played a few shifts with different people. So I understand that he's a guy that produces and can generate, but we like his compete and his speed, the way he gets into puck battles, and the way he attacks the game with his speed.
How encouraging with that line is it that I think all 3 of those guys drew a penalty last game against Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. They play the game fast. Eddie's a really good skater. Sam works really hard. He competes really hard. Berard's a good mix of both of that, and so they're a hard line to contain. And when you're trying to contain somebody, there's times where you can reach and pull, and it ends up causing an advantage for us on the power play. And so that's really good, positive stuff.
I know that Mika had a bunch of shots in the game in Buffalo. Do you feel what are you seeing from him lately? Has he been more effective lately than maybe he was earlier, or what do you see from him?
I think with everybody, there's ups and downs, and you know, I can list a couple games where I thought that their line was tops. The Pittsburgh game jumps out for me, where I just thought they were fantastic with their game. But I do think that it's for any line, the line we just talked about, it goes to that speed and the speed of the game, the compete on the puck, the attack on the net. All of that can make any line good, including Mika's line, and I feel like they're at their best when they bring those attributes.
When you look at building off the wing and the quality of opponents you're going to be playing, just a challenge, starting with that way.
Yeah.
What do you want to build on?
There's nothing easy about any games, and so you go into Buffalo, who needs to win a game. Their desperation level is high. They have a lot of skill. They have good players in place, and there's going to be nothing easy about that game. And so nothing changes from game to game. We're going to have to be ready. It's about our game and what we do on the ice, and that's what we prepare for. We give the information on the opponent, but it's our game. We got to make sure we're ready to jump on.
What about LA? Do you have to be patient with them because of the way they play defense?
Yeah, I mean, they're good defensively. I thought, again, it goes back to us. I thought we were real good defensively for 2 periods in Buffalo. Really sharp, really on point. And so it's when we play good defense, we're playing offense. And so just making sure that we're taking care of our game. I think the patience part that you're talking about in the defense, I think that goes for any team. Like if you run outside your system, if you make bad decisions with the puck, you're going to find it works against you. And so those are some of the things that we've controlled a little bit better. Still trying to get even better at it, but we controlled that a little bit better in the last 4 or 5 games.
I talked with Filipino today. He said prior to his injury, he was playing with a bit of a groove. Do you feel since he's returned, he's kind of found that groove back?
I think they're working for it, that line. I think they're working because it was at the beginning of the year. I think that they were really noticeable as a line. The first half dozen games that line was together, they were extremely noticeable in a positive way. And so I think that they're working. I think anytime you're coming back from something, there's a little bit that goes with that. And so, I think I've seen moments of it, but I think you're trying to find that consistency that they had at the beginning of the year.